5 lessons China has drawn from the war in Ukraine. China is always preparing for war. In particular, it's eyeing a potential conquest of Taiwan. Chinese military analysts have been busy this past year. They're scrutinizing the Russo-Ukrainian war. The Chinese call it a proving ground. For them, it's a chance to learn from successes and failures on both sides. More than 100 research papers have been written. Here are the biggest lessons they've drawn. 1. Nuclear deterrence is important. Unlike Ukraine, Russia has nuclear weapons. So does China. Chinese analysts believe this would be crucial in a war. Nuclear deterrence has kept the US from direct involvement. China is anxious about NATO getting involved in Taiwan. 2 Chinese rocket researchers write in an article. From this, it can be seen that nuclear forces are how a great power displays its stature. China has around 400 nuclear warheads today. That number could grow to 1,000 by 2030. 2. Logistics matter. Taiwan lies about 100 miles off the coast of China. The war in Ukraine has shown the importance of logistics. Russian forces have suffered shortfalls of weapons and ammo. This has led to stalled advances and heavy losses. An article in a Chinese military magazine states, the shortcomings that have been exposed in the Russian military's logistics and supplies should be a focus for us. 3. A large ground force is still relevant. An invasion of Taiwan would rely heavily on air and naval forces. But some Chinese experts insist on maintaining a huge ground force. They point to Russia's difficulties in finding enough infantry troops.
A great power must maintain ground forces of a reasonable scale, otherwise it will lose its advantage on the battlefield.
Wu Dawi, military researcher. 4. China needs its own Starlink and drone specialists. Russia has run into difficulties with poor intelligence. Ukrainian troops learned to rely on drones early on. China believes it needs to train its troops in drone reconnaissance. Critical communications are also important. SpaceX has made Starlink available to the Ukrainians. The system proved resistant to Russian jamming. It allows Ukrainian troops to operate where digital infrastructure is destroyed. Taiwan is also studying this technology. A group of Chinese military experts say, faced with the threat of Starlink, we must develop and build our own low-orbiting satellites. Other experts also suggest developing anti-satellite weapons. These would be used against American satellites, helping Taiwan. Not a moment can be spared in developing soft kill and hard kill measures against low-orbit satellite arrays. 5. Hypersonic missiles are the future. Russia has used its hypersonic missiles against targets in Ukraine. They have proved impossible to intercept by existing air defenses. China has a massive hypersonic missile program. These weapons are highly maneuverable in flight. Chinese analysts have examined every use of such missiles in Ukraine. They are saying China should double its efforts to develop new hypersonics. Do you think China will risk invading Taiwan?